Estimates. Okay, so what's the question?
Okay, so here I decided to test the private method for changing the parent of the document, and here much in similar way I've managed to test that we call the test that if we call the URL with the new parent ID at the end, that the controller calls the change document parent with the appropriate ID passing.
Okay.
For some reason.
Right. Just give me a second then.
Okay. Let me just share my screen.
By the way, one thing I wanted to suggest to you is if you have a before block in here. No, in fact, you don't need a before block. Okay, so what you could do is this. Oops. See, you're passing this hash every time, right?
Yeah.
So what you could do is this. You could say let params. Okay. Now this like this. Okay, so you can assign params, and then just on every call, like here, for example. Right.
I was wondering if I could just make that before each statement for those 2 or 3 examples that are using it, but for those 2 examples that I get that I have the get call afterwards, then I guess that will make 2 get calls.
Okay, well, I'm just letting you know that you can do this. You can just instead of running a get action in before block, you just assign params, and then you use these params here, and you can use this everywhere if they're the same.
Cool. I will replace that in the appropriate place. Yeah.
Okay. Stop. Just a second. Не надо штучки не убрать. Не надо их кушать. Ты в бассейн собралась? Бассейн? Так иди быстрее, а то Лера сейчас в бассейн пойдет.
Иди пошли.
Да, давай. Марта. Марта, что ты делаешь? Марта, ты что делаешь? Ну зачем ты все выбрасываешь? My little daughter has this interesting habit. Every time she comes into my office, the first thing she does, she takes the rubbish bin and just throws everything out of it on the floor.
That's funny.
Marta, куда ты понесла мое ведро? Okay, now she's taking away my rubbish bin completely. Ну и зачем ты его забрала? Иди в бассейн быстрее. Okay. Yeah. So you need to set the expectation before you call the action. Right. Actually, you need to set the expectation for any calls before you run the action. But you always check expectations for variables after you do the action. So basically, you tell Aspect what to listen for before you run the action, and after you run the action, you check all the different variables that could have changed after the action.
Okay, so this, you mean just for the last example or at all?
No. For the last example, everything is fine. So I mean, let me just drive for a second. So I mean, like for example, you could have something like this. And here you tell it, what to listen for. Here you say, okay, listen for this, do this, and then let's check what happened. The response is just a variable. That's where you're checking, the state of the response.
Okay. So do I have to check any state for the response for the last example? Because I think that response is just the HTML and the headers and so on that gets returned from the server.
No, I mean, you're checking it here. You're checking that the response is correct. And here you're actually checking, what are you checking here? You're checking that your change document parent is being called.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what was the problem? What was failing?
What the failing part was that it says that it expects one call with the argument of the new document parent ID, but it received no calls at all.
I see. So basically, it never gets called. Okay. Let's have a look at your controller then.
But actually, that works in practice. It works okay. I've tested it in the browser.
Okay.
So
where it gets called here, right?
yeah.
Okay, fine. And let me just have a look at a second. So this is your code here, okay, and then in your spec, I see, the spec is in another tab. So in your spec, you're calling the show, okay. Я закрой мне, пожалуйста, двери, ничего не слышу. Okay, so, but where does it get called from? This method.
Well, actually, now I saw that after we have updated to call the method from update, that might probably be the problem. I mean, we now call the method from the update method of the controller, not from the show. So
let's see. So all right, you're calling it from here, right? So
yeah.
Document parent, you're calling it from here, and that means that in your that's what the problem is here. So what you need to do, you just need to change this. You need to change this to update, pass the correct params, and that should work.
Actually, yeah.
I'm not sure which params you need to pass, but
yeah, these are the ones. You said by passing the params, I thought you mean that and replace it with the params variable, but no. Because here the get param is different.
Are the params the same for show and for update?
Yeah.
Oh, okay then, fine. Marta. What's the failure there? Okay, it's the arguments which are not correct. But it's it's calling the method. But you're expecting 20, but it's a string because when you pass something into params, it always returns a string.
Mm-hmm. So I need to change the expectation then.
Yeah, just change the expectation to a string. Марта, ну что ж ты делаешь? Марта, а ты что такая черная? Почему руки черные такие, а? Какие руки черные? Okay, my daughter is trashing my office.
Okay.
Okay?
She's trying to keep you busy enough.
Oh yes, she is keeping me busy now because she's walking around the reset button on the computer. And last time she just resetted my PC.
Cool. So you're working on Windows, yeah?
No. PC as in just a computer, but I have Linux.
Okay. So there's another failure now, so I guess I didn't make the proper change. How should I convert this?
No. The thing is, no. What happens here is, just give me a sec.
Okay.
So here you're passing the ID, right?
Yeah.
But when you're saying expect to receive here, you're supposed to receive a string.
Oh, okay. So here.
And another thing, slide, which is important, is that when you're writing a test, it's a lot better when inside the test. Here in the expectation, you have a value which you can read straight away. I'm expecting to receive 20, because when you have something like this, you have to think, okay, I'm expecting to receive this, but what is this ID? What is this ID about?
Sure, but I was wondering that wouldn't that be a problem when we are working with factories, like the IDs of the factories are different each time the factory gets generated?
That's right. That's right. But on the other hand, you can always define an ID that you want. So this is you're creating. Where is it? You're creating it here, right?
Yeah, I'm creating a list of 2 documents, so I could check. I think I'm using the list below, but I'll have to review.
How I would do it, just to make test absolutely clear, to see what's going on. I would do this. So expect categories. I would do something like this. Document, and then instead of here, I would have ID equals, say, I don't know, 555, right? And so this is our array, and this is our hashed closed. I guess I could join this and this. So here we have 555, and here we would have 556, for example. Okay. So in that way, you know exactly what you're creating, and then here you can test it straight away. And the good thing about this is that the good thing about this is that you can see straight away what the test is doing. You're creating two documents with these two IDs, and you're expecting it to receive change document parent with an ID 555.
Yeah.
By the way, let's see what happens. You just hit enter, yeah.
And I would probably test if this would work with build stopped instead of create.
Yeah.
Because I think there's no particular relations here to the database that will create a problem with that.
And by the way, one other thing you could do is you already have these params assigned, right? And let's see, it's just in that params you have categories true. So what you could do here is this. So you could have this. Okay, so you could have where is it? So you could have params merge, and then
but won't this make a conflict with another get param in the params variable that says categories true?
Well, I mean, not really, because this new parent ID only matters when you pass it to the update action, right? And here you are calling the show action. So even if and also, I mean, when you're doing the merge here, you're just you're adding it to params here in place. You're not actually changing these params here.
Okay.
If you did something like this, for example, if you added an exclamation mark here, then you would change this original params. But you're not.
Okay.
You're just passing. You're passing an argument, which is you take params and you add another hash key to it, and that's it.
I see. Okay, and I was wondering, should I make an example here to test if the flash notice message gets assigned, or because I'm already testing for that in the feature tests.
It's failing, is it?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. So just give me a second. I'm trying to make this look prettier. It doesn't. Okay, so maybe something like this.
Maybe we should do end instead of the curly braces.
Ah, that's right. That's what I was missing. Yeah, exactly. So we need to do here. So, oops.
Why is this?
God, this is annoying. What's this?
My autocompletion works on, and when you hit enter, it autocompletes, but I don't know why it's making such problems.
I know what you mean. It's like my autocompletion for JavaScript, just the same stuff. Okay, so this kind of looks nicer.
Yeah.
But okay, it's failing. Why is it failing now?
Just a second, I will check if where is the okay. So yeah, what is it? Okay. It's just the wrong number here.
Yeah, I must have pressed undo at some point, so that's why that number changed.
Yeah. Okay, so no test for flash message.
Let's have a look at the code. What does the code look like?
Okay, so here's the function itself, the method that gets called. So we are having our flash notice set after document is saved.
Yeah, I guess you could check for that. You could say something like expect signs. Or no, you can actually do expect flash notice to equal to your message.
Yeah. Okay, and what about assigns for document parent ID?
Well, not really. I mean, you need it only for the message, right? Oh no, you needed
For the call to the database. Although no, actually, yeah, actually I need it only for the notice message, so I don't.
Well, I mean, can you just go to the beginning of the shows a message? You can test for that. But also, your method checks what you have replaced the parent ID with.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part.
Your method replaces the parent ID. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a
The sound is really bad. I don't know why, but I don't hear almost anything.
right? Okay.
I guess it's just a second. Document parent ID. Then I save this.
Can I show your? Can you see? Can I see your controller?
Yeah, this is it.
Oh, I mean the spec, the controller spec. Okay. So I mean, if it was your private method, then you stop here. You have checked that the change document parent is being called, right? Okay. But if you want to check that method, what you could do, you could create a document, then run the update action on it, and then check if that document's parent ID has changed to what you wanted to change it to. Do you see what I mean?
So basically, I could.
Just give me a second, I'll show you. So for example, here, the connection is really slow for some reason. I can't even use the console. Okay, it's working now. So what you could do, you could create a document, then run the update action on it, and then check if that document's parent ID has changed to what you wanted to change it to. Do you see what I mean?
So basically, I could. I could.
give me a second, I'll show you. So for example, here,
It's strange. It's probably not working.
I don't know why. Okay, yeah. So here. So by the way, slide here in this test. In this test, I mean, to check that this has been called, all you have to do is just go
Yeah.
you don't actually need an object, you know, you're passing an argument, you're just checking that this change document parent is being called.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. But also, I mean, you could do something like after this, you could do something like expect document right. And what are your params? You're calling it with document project friendly ID, document to params. What is your what is your document?
Document has been set in the before for the whole test.
Okay, cool. So we could do this. Oh man, this is slow. Even the console is dying. Yeah, come on. Okay. So you can do something like this. Document parent ID to equal
555 is now a.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. That's it.
Cool.
But I would do it in a separate spec. You know, just add one more it block.
And just get the call and then yeah, okay. I will do this in separate.
But you see, in this case, right? You can make change document parent as private and not testing it at all, because you're testing the main thing, that when you call update with the new parent ID, the document parent ID changes, and that's your main objective.
Yeah, I see. Okay.
All right.
So I think that this is it. And one last question. I was wondering that I should probably start the whole RSpec tests for the whole project as well as the Cucumber ones after I finish this feature.
Certainly, you should.
Okay, because recently I get some errors that don't seem related to my changes at all, and I'm not sure what I have to do. I mean, it's failing on my end, but it's not something that I have changed, and I don't know if I should go and change it. Probably I don't have to because it's out of the scope of the pull request.
Yeah, well, in God, you can always press enter, and that will run all the specs and all the Cucumber for you.
Yeah, I meant that for some reason some of the tests are failing and they are not related to my changes. What should I do then?
Well, it depends which test. If you show me which test is failing, I could tell you something about it.
Okay, I will when I run all the tests. If I have some failures, I will ask you in Slack.
Yeah, just
Because
post the error message into Slack, and I will tell you if that's okay or that's something we should deal with.
Okay, because it seems sometimes the failures are in different places. I mean, sometimes they are in one controller that I haven't touched at all, and sometimes they're somewhere else. And
Yeah, that's the usual thing about random failures. That's what happens.
Okay, I see. So I will run the entire specs in Cucumbers, and then we'll commit the pull request again.
Okay, cool.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much, and see you later.
Yeah, see you later. Good luck.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.